Rain poured heavily over the quiet city streets as Daniel rushed out of his office building. It was past midnight, and the storm had slowed everything down. Daniel had worked late for weeks, telling himself it was temporary, that rest could wait. When he reached the bus stop, the bus was already pulling away. His heart sank. He shouted and waved, running as fast as his tired legs allowed. Just before it picked up speed, the driver opened the door. Daniel stumbled inside, breathless, thankful, and embarrassed. He moved to the back and sat by the window, his usual seat, watching rain streak down the glass. The bus was empty. The city outside looked washed out and distant, like a painting left in the rain. Thunder rolled in the distance, and for a moment Daniel felt oddly calm. His body was heavy with exhaustion. He closed his eyes, telling himself it would only be for a minute. When he opened them again, the bus was full. Every seat was occupied. People stood in the aisle, holding the rails, staring ahead in silence. Daniel frowned. He hadn't felt the bus stop. He hadn't heard the doors open. Confusion flickered in his mind, but fatigue quickly pushed it away. He rubbed his eyes and leaned back again. Some time later, he woke up to an unsettling quiet. The bus was empty once more. No passengers, no sound except the engine and the rain. A cold feeling crept up his spine. As he looked around, a sharp smell filled the air, like burnt tobacco. An elderly man sat beside him, thin and hunched, holding a small rolled cigarette. His face was lined deeply, and his eyes were sharp and watchful. Daniel swallowed. "Sir, do you know where everyone went? The bus was full just now." The old man looked at him slowly. "I've been riding this bus for many years," he said in a low voice. "After midnight, it doesn't carry the living the way you expect." Daniel let out a nervous laugh. "You must be joking. I'm just tired." The old man shook his head. "A year ago, on a night like this, I sat where you are sitting. The bus was empty. Then someone appeared in front of me. A man who shouldn't have been there. He told me I had stayed too long." His voice trembled slightly. "He vanished without the bus stopping." Daniel waved it off. "Stories like that spread easily at night." The old man said nothing more. He stared ahead as if watching something only he could see. Daniel tried to ignore the unease settling in his chest. Soon, exhaustion pulled him back into sleep. When he woke again, the old man was gone. The smell lingered, but the seat beside him was empty. Daniel's heart began to race. He noticed someone sitting in the front, reading a newspaper. At this hour, in this weather, it felt strange. The man's face was hidden behind the pages. Daniel stood up slowly. "Excuse me," he said. "Do you know what time it is?" No answer. Lightning flashed, briefly illuminating the bus interior. The man lowered the newspaper. Daniel froze. The face he saw was badly injured, pale and broken, eyes hollow and lifeless. A scream caught in Daniel's throat. He shut his eyes, shaking. A hand touched his shoulder. When he looked again, the man stood before him, unharmed, smiling gently, holding out a bottle of water. "You look unwell," the man said softly. "Strange things happen when people push themselves too far." Daniel could barely speak. What was that?" The man's smile faded. "If you've seen something, don't stay. Some journeys aren't meant to be finished." Daniel staggered to the door, splashing water on his face from the bottle. When he turned back, the man was gone. Moments later, a voice called from the door. The same man stood there. Without warning, he jumped from the moving bus. A terrible sound echoed into the night. The bus slowed. A stop appeared ahead. Daniel didn't think. He ran and jumped off, landing hard in the rain. He turned just in time to see the bus pass by. In the flicker of lightning, its true form appeared, burnt, damaged, filled with silent figures that did not move. Faces pressed against the windows, including the old man and the one with the newspaper, watching him with calm, knowing eyes. The bus disappeared into the darkness. Daniel stood there, soaked and shaking, long after the rain eased. He walked home instead of waiting for another ride. From that night on, he stopped ignoring his limits. He learned that when life sends warnings, they are not meant to be dismissed, because some paths, once taken too far, cannot be undone.